Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. I just recently finished the Phasma novel, and not only was it terrific, I also learned a lot about Captain Phasma's past, which actually made her 20 times more interesting than the robotic character we saw get shoved down a garbage chute in Force Awakens. Like Boba Fett, this masked figure lives a much more dangerous and interesting life in the novels outside the main films. Today I'm going to tell you guys the tale of how Captain Phasma acquired her badass suit of chrome armor. You see, she was born and raised on a planet known as Parnassus. Like Mickey Rourke's face, some unknown disaster happened to the planet's surface and scarred it forever. What was left were a few scattered groups of humans who lived amongst the apocalyptic ruins of an advanced civilization. Phasma's clan, the Skyer, lived on a series of jagged rocks overlooking an ocean full of man-eating sharks. Life was hilariously tough for these individuals. The sea was gradually rising, the rain was toxic, and many areas of the planet was covered in radioactive fallout. The smallest paper cut would lead to an amputation, and the average lifespan was somewhere around like 35 years. On top of that, the planet was surrounded by an orbital defense system that prevented any ships from leaving or entering the planet. There's some kind of technological relic left behind by a corporation that used to own the planet but had left a long time ago. Phasma was tall for her age and a great warrior amongst her people. They wore masks and primitive armor that protected them from the elements and made their enemies fear them. Like your average internet troll, Phasma used this armor as a buffer between her and other human beings, making it easier for her to carry out savage acts of violence and ad hominem attacks on her fellow man. What separated Phasma from her fellow warriors in the Skyer clan was her indomitable spirit to survive. Like some kind of Destiny player, she was constantly in pursuit of better armor, gear, weapons, and even factions. The only true loyalty she had was to herself, and whatever faction offered the best tools and support was the one she pledged her allegiance to. One day, a First Order ship was shot down over the planet. One of the escape pods landed near Phasma's clan. Out of the wreckage emerged Brendel Hux, the father of Armitage Hux, along with a few First Order stormtroopers. Brendel Hux was the architect of the First Order Stormtrooper training program. He oftentimes went on recruitment drives on desolate planets like Parnassus and took starving and impoverished children and trained them to be killing machines. Hux made a deal with Phasma. If she could help him reach his crashed ship, he would contact the First Order and take her off this wretched planet. Phasma and Hux journeyed across the Parnassus wasteland, and along the way, Phasma began admiring how awesome the First Order Stormtrooper's armor was. Not only did it give +4 strength and constitution, it wasn't made out of bones, animal skins, and tied together with some seaweed. When one stormtrooper died, Phasma quickly looted the body and went to her inventory and equipped the suit into her slots in her character menu. When we finally reach Hux's ship, we realize it's not some ordinary ship, it's one made out of chrome. This ship was an exact replica of one of Emperor Palpatine's luxury lots, the Imperialists. Now, it's not confirmed, but I believe that this ship is of Nubian design and hails from Naboo, which is where Palpatine is originally from. I'm guessing it looked quite similar to one of Padme's yachts that we saw in episode 1, 2, 3. After the Battle of Jakku, General Hux had taken the yacht from one of the Emperor's hidden observatories and used it to escape to the unknown region. Upon reaching the yacht, Phasma made a mental note about the location of the crash site and left with Brendel to join the First Order. A year later, Phasma would return to her homeworld, this time dressed in a plain white First Order trooper armor. She returned to the crash site and cut several panels of chrome metal off from the ship and melted it down. Then she put that into a fabricator and replicated her stormtrooper armor but with the chrome metal. One of the reasons why Phasma did this was because this chrome ship had delivered her off this wretched planet of hers when it had crashed with Brendel Hux and his stormtroopers. The new suit of armor would separate her from the rest of the stormtroopers, making her the first amongst equals. But the absurdity of the armor foreshadows something about Phasma. Nothing will ever be enough for her, and she will continue to hunt for better armor and weapons and better factions. Even if that means betraying the First Order, but maybe we'll talk about that theory next time. Anyway, if you guys are interested in reading the Phasma novel, we'll link it in the description below. It's a great novel with a post-apocalyptic vibe that is rarely seen in the Star Wars universe. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. A special thanks to all you Patreon supporters. With your contribution and help, I no longer have to eat Ben, which is terrific because not only is he British, he's also very lanky and doesn't have a lot of meat on his bones. Well guys, if you want to say no to cannibalism, check us out on our Patreon page, and thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.